Okay, my Air Zodiac signs, let's hop into your reading now. So this is for November of 2022. So what we're going to do, we're going to get an archetypes card over here. We're going to get an alchemy card. These will be our theme cards and the same for all three signs here. So this is for my Geminis, my Libras, and my Aquariuses. So our archetypes card will give us the theme overall for the reading, what's that energy is kind of happening in November here. And then our alchemy card over here will give us the transformation energy, how that energy is progressing, transforming, and changing throughout the month. We'll break it down a little bit more by sign specifically with our Centimorte here, getting a 3-card spread. It could be a past, present, future for the month for you if you decide to, the month before, the month we're currently in, and the next month in the future, the current month as a whole, breaking it down by days or just specific situations. We'll see how it resonates, what makes sense, and what feels right for you and the specific situation, and how it relates to our theme cards up here. So let us get started. Get these two out of the way here. So, archetypes for my Air Zodiac signs, my Geminis, Libras, and Aquariuses. Please give me the theme for November of 2022. Thank you. And take the card on the bottom. That is the mask. Okay, let's actually get a closer look at that one for you. Focus in, the mask. Okay. So set that over here for now. Just a quick look, we have the storm and the desert just to kind of keep that energy in mind. Now let's get our archetypes, or our alchemy card, my bad. Okay. Okay, alchemy with the mask on deck already. Give me the energy that is transforming for the Air Zodiac signs, for our Geminis, Libras, and Aquariuses. What energy in their life is transforming and transitioning and changing? Thank you, Pluto. Okay. Let's get a closer look at that one for you too. So Pluto energy. So I like our combo of light and dark here. So that's kind of like changing in, right? That's very interesting. Okay, so lots of big transformation energy happening for us here, my Air Zodiac signs, right? So let us take a little bit of a closer look at both of these, and then we'll hop into your individuals, okay? Very strong energy coming in here for my Air Zodiac sign. So our theme is the mask, right? This theme card from our archetypes. The mask talks about the mask we wear, right? So we see this mask on the side here, lots of pretty color, and then we have kind of this dark black mirroring it, and all this kind of black and gray on the other side here. With our masks, this can be taken in many different ways. It can be kind of a positive or negative depending. It can be a mask we need to take off. It can be a mask that we are wearing that we just need to take off and shed because it's not fitting for us anymore. Or it can be the mask, a set of ourselves that we need to put on and show that hasn't been expressed yet before, right? If you think about it, the description book talks about like the play and theater and the different masks you wear and the different personas and versions of ourselves we can be, right? These different masks we can wear. So maybe it's time for another mask, another version of ourselves to come out and be expressed. So interesting energy, but when we pair it with Pluto here, Pluto is transformation, destruction, the underworld, lots of big, heavy energy there, right? Pluto in your chart in astrology might be very important to look at, and with these two tied together, we're looking at maybe what mask is needing to be broken down, what mask of ourselves, what version of ourselves, what persona of ourselves needs to be kind of die, go to the underworld, be reclaimed and transformed and rebirthed anew with this Pluto energy here, right? Versions of ourselves coming out in many different ways and in many different personas and how do I want to phrase that? Presented in many different ways, right? So Pluto's asking us to change and transform and put on a different mask here. Put on a different mask, put on a different version of ourselves, change and transform and grow, let that destruction process happen, right? Maybe this other mask we're wearing needs to be destroyed completely so that energy can be moved and changed and transformed into something else, into a different version here. So Very interesting, strong energy coming out for my air zodiac signs. Not a surprise. With Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius here, you have that flow, that movement, that air energy, lots of things happening at the mind level, right? The air is our mind. It is that swords energy in the tarot. So there's lots of strong energy here for mental capacity and these mental masks, these mental restraints we might put on ourselves, and the destruction of those energies as well. So that is our theme here. So when you are ready, hop into your specific section of the video. It'll be listed down in the description below with timestamps for Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So you can hop to your time specifically and see how this energy right here, the mask and Pluto, breaks down specifically for your zodiac sign and in the month of November. I'll see you there when you're ready. Bye. Hello to my Geminis. So let us get started. Let us get your 3 cards from the Santa Muerte deck here. Let's see how this energy is going to apply to you specifically, our mask energy and Pluto energy. Okay, so let's move these up a little bit. We'll pull them back into frame here once we get our 3 cards, but I just don't want the cards are going to fly, so I don't want them to hit too hard. I didn't ask the question yet. Sante. Okay. Santa Muerte, please give me 3 cards for Gemini for November of 2022 with the mask and Pluto in play here. How is this going to affect our Geminis in November with the mask and Pluto? Give us a little bit more insight on this energy. Thank you. Okay, that's 1. 2 more cards, please. Thank you. Okay, that one stayed upright, so that will head up there. And last card, please. How is this energy? What do we need to know about this energy for November 2022? Nope. 1 more. Thank you. Death card's there too, but we'll just take the reverse double there. Okay, anything else that flipped? No. Okay. So had fun kind of revealing itself here, but let's see. We've got the 8 of Wands in reverse. We have the 7 of Swords in the upright and the reverse Devil. Very strong energy, Geminis. Not a surprise though. Okay. So here is our spread. Just get it nice and even because I am very particular about that for whatever reason. That's that Virgo-ness in me. Okay, yeah, so we have 8 of Wands. In the first position, we have 7 of Swords in the second position and the reverse Devil in the third position. So going to be up to you how you take it. We'll see how this breaks down a little bit and ties in, but this can be the past, present, future. This can be what was happening in October. This is currently in November, and then this is what's happening in December. It could be just all of November, so the first part of November, the second part of November, and the third part of November, as it kind of breaks down by days, or it could be specific situations and how this is all tying in with these themes up here. So whatever fits with your situation, whatever makes sense, we'll see how that kind of breaks down a little bit with the reading once we dive in a little bit more into these tarot cards here at the Santa Muerte, okay? So let us see. Okay, Gemini, safe to say you got some shit going on. There's been a lot kind of going on, and that energy is very present here for November of 2022, right? So with our reverse 8 of Wands energy, usually 8 of Wands, that's a lot of work, but a lot of like forward-moving, kind of passionate energy. The Wands here and coming in reverse, it's kind of being weighed down. We're very exhausted. We're very tired. We've been doing a lot of work, right? If we're tying this into our mask, then it's the concept of figuring out what mask we're wearing, what mask we need to remove, what version of ourselves isn't fitting anymore that we need to kind of destroy with this Pluto energy here. What energy needs to die? Remember, we had the Santa Muerte also kind of coming out with our Devil energy over here. So death is always that rebirth process, and that ties in with Pluto, of course. So we've been putting in a lot of like emotional kind of labor here. It feels like there's been a lot of emotional labor figuring out who we are, what's been going on, what are we doing, what do we value, what do we give a shit about, what do we care about, right? And figuring out how to progress and move this energy, right? With it, the 8 of Wands coming in reverse, there's a stagnancy that's kind of happened where we got so tired, right? And if we look at our 7 of Swords energy over here, right? This person's been laying in this coffin for a long time finally, right? We see hope in the top of the coffin written here, right? And what looks like reflection kind of being written. So this person's been laying in the coffin for a long time, very exhausted finally, but we're like working through this energy now. We're finally moving and progressing this energy. We've opened this coffin and we're like, hey, we're progressing, we're moving, we're going to figure this out, right? We're going to finally let this destruction take place here with Pluto energy. And the devil here is that underworld energy as well. That devil energy is the ties that bind us, the things that have gotten a hold of us, right? So lots of very, very strong energy here. With our devil energy coming in reverse, there's always danger of entrapment and greed and those kinds of things with a reverse devil. However, with this Pluto energy on the board here, it feels like this energy is more of that death and destruction process, the releasing those bindings that the devil has on us, right? The devil, usually in the major arcana, there's those chains trapping us and trapping those people. In this devil card specifically, we see the like marionette strings on our little mariachis down here. Those strings are being cut finally here, right, with our reverse devil energy. Those strings are finally being cut and destroyed with Pluto over here. So we're finally releasing some of this big energy that's been keeping us trapped for a long time, this wrong mask that we've been wearing, this kind of darker subsets, subconscious, like negative, not like lower vibration kind of energy mask we've been wearing for a long time is finally kind of being destroyed and cut and removed with our reverse devil energy over here, right? We have our Seven of Swords energy in this finally like, hey, we're opening this coffin that we've been like keeping ourselves in for a very, very long time without realizing. The coffin is representing this mask, right? The same mask that we're also wearing. The picture that kind of popped in my head, right? The mask with Jim Carrey and that mask not being able to be removed, right? It's literally stuck on his face and he can't take it off of his himself, and he has to kind of finally like progress and work through. I haven't seen that movie in a really, really long time, but just that concept of the mask being stuck on his face is what's popping in here. But there's finally, with this energy coming through with Pluto, we can finally like take it off. We can finally work through and open this coffin that we've been stuck in for a long time. The Seven of Swords here coming in is also some of that just like rest finally, like getting a period of rest taking place where it's like, okay, hey, we've been working really hard for a long time, this Eight of Wands energy over here, but it being in reverse where it's like, we're exhausted. We've exhausted ourselves. We're burnt out. And that rest period comes in with this Pluto energy here as well with the underworld, right? That with death comes rest and rejuvenation finally at the end of the day. We can finally like release and let these things progress in the way that is beneficial and that is going to be helpful to us. It's just a very strong and tiring energy at this point, right? So we see a lot of the same kind of red and black energy here, but there's light and there's color as well, right? That is that reverse devil energy as well, where it's like, hey, we're finally being enlightened, we're finally coming into awareness, we're coming into a new version of ourselves and learning something new about ourselves. We're leveling up, we're being able to, we have this awareness and a revelation that's happened about our situation and the mask we've been wearing, so that we can finally take it off, maybe burn that particular mask because it doesn't fit anymore, we don't want it anymore, it was hurting us, it was skewing our perception of ourselves in the mirror when we looked at ourselves and looked at our situations in our life. So we can finally reclaim our power here, reclaim the situation for ourselves in a positive way and work through this destructive Pluto energy, destroy this energy so it can be rebuilt and be renewed into something different and new for ourselves here, right? We see these flowers over the top here, getting this Eight of Wands energy into the upright where it's like, okay, hey, there's strong work and movement forward that we've been putting in, right? It's finally like moving us into a positive area of our lives, a positive situation as we discover new things about ourselves, new masks we can wear, new personas that we hadn't realized were there, that had been very buried, very, very deep in ourselves. We can finally progress and move those into a new positive way, right? So strong energy for you here, Gemini. You're going through a lot. Like shit's been hitting the fan for you. I'm sure you know better than I do on that one, but it is a positive destructive energy here. It is a positive energy at the end of the day in the bigger picture that is going to pay off for you in lots of ways as you discover newer and truer things about yourself, working through and coming to a version of yourself that feels more true, that maybe isn't a mask that you've been wearing, or it's finally versions of yourself that you can try out and see what fits you better now as you progress and move forward into your life, into the next stages, right? So strong energy here for sure, Gemini. Keep getting some rest. The energy will pass. Everything passes with time. We're not seeing a direct end in this spread for November specifically. November is also a time of death itself, right? As all the trees are starting to die off, we're in autumn and we're kind of progressing into winter energy, but winter is also rest. So there'll be time soon after this passes where you can rest and rejuvenate and finally take a breath. I feel like I'm out of breath right now, where I'm talking so much, but I can't catch my breath at the same time. So there'll be time soon, but this is the energy we're in right now. And so take care of yourself, give yourself lots of self-care as you feel you need it. Take the opportunities to rest when you can, because this energy is very strong and heavy. But there is light and enlightenment at the end of the day, at the end of this process. And once everything that needs to be destroyed is destroyed in this underworld Pluto energy, there'll be time where you can rest and then start rebuilding, okay? So strong energy here for sure, Gemini. Send me any questions, or if you need somebody to talk to, feel free in the comments down below. I'm happy to help you out if you feel like you need it. We'll see what happens for you in December as we finally start getting into that winter energy where you can rest and finally just take a breath. But stay strong. You'll get there, I promise. And this energy is paying off for you, okay? So that is all I have for you right now, Gemini. I will see you in the next video. Bye. Hello, my Libras. So welcome to your part of the video. So we have our mask out here and Pluto out for the Air Zodiac sign. So these are our themes, and let us see how it's going to break down now with the Santa Muerte. So we're going to get 3 cards out for you for the Santa Muerte. Let's put these up a little bit here so they don't get hit by the cards that I'm shuffling. Okay. So Santa Muerte, can you give me 3 cards for our Libras for November of 2022 with the mask and Pluto on deck here out on in play? What does my Libras need to know? What do my Libras need to know? Thank you. That is Judgment. 2 more cards, please. Almost. Okay. Okay. 2 more cards tying in with the mask and Pluto and Judgment out. What do Libras need to know for November of 2022? That's thinking about it. There we go. Okay. 1 more, please. Oh. We'll take the one that is revealed, which is this 9 of Pentacles. Yes, 9 of Pentacles. Okay. So, ooh, Knight of Swords. Okay, let's get all these here. So, unlike the Geminis earlier in this video, we've got a lot more upright for you, Libras. Okay. So here's our spread. We got our mask, we've got Pluto, we've got Judgment, we've got the Knight of Swords, and the 9 of Pentacles all in the upright. So let's take a little bit closer look at these cards here and figure out what's going on for you, Libras. So my Libras, so with our 3 cards being out here, so we have the theme of the mask and Pluto, right? Earlier we were talking about the masks we wear and how those are potentially being destroyed or reevaluated with Pluto energy here. So we got our 3 cards out here. You can kind of see how it feels for you, whether or not this is past, present, future, as in maybe this was October, this is November, and this is December. Maybe it is going to be the 3 kind of set times in the month of November specifically, kind of the first part of the month, the second part of the month, third part of the month, or just specific situations, or just kind of all together. I'll kind of read it as I'm feeling it, but probably a little bit more all together and how these all tie in. But use your intuition on what makes sense for you. So first of all, with judgment here, card number one, judgment, we're talking about our karma here. We're talking about being judged and the situations we put ourselves in. This is karma coming back around. And karma coming back around, it's going to be whether or not it is in the positive or negative, depending on the situation that's happening here, right? So it doesn't necessarily have to be your karma. It can be the karma that's surrounding you, or the karmas of the situations, karma coming for others and other people. With our mask and Pluto out here and tying in with this judgment card, though, this is that realization, that coming into an awareness, coming into a new part of ourselves as we are looking at all the karma that has been wrought, everything that has kind of come together, and moving on to this next step, right? We are finally being judged for our actions, whether they are in positive or negative, and then moving on to the next step after that, right? So with this, it's also a release of karma at the same time, right? This is that Pluto, a destructive energy, taking what is being judged and finally clearing the slate at the end. So it's like, okay, hey, well, this is finished, this is done, and we can take off this mask that we've been wearing for this particular situation, this particular persona of ours for the time frame that we are in, and move forward differently with a new mask, a new persona, a new truth, because now the slate has been clean with judgment. We've been judged for those actions. That cycle is finished out, and we can move forward now. This shows up with the Knight of Swords energy as well, right? The swords is the air. Swords is also our intellect, our mind. That is that air energy. Makes sense here for Libra, of course, and for our Air Zodiac signs having a swords symbol out on the table here. With Knight of Swords specifically, we're talking about very focused energy, very precise energy. If we're looking a little bit closer at our knight here, right, with that sword kind of going down the throat, that is a very special skill in this case, a very precise and a very mastered skill. Obviously, anybody who is a sword swallower, fire swallow, anything like that in those environments, kind of like the circus, takes a lot of skill in order to not hurt themselves. And this is showing that skill set, that thoroughness, that thought process happening in order to move forward in a safe and calm manner. The knights are forward-moving energy a lot of the time, move forward in a very positive way, very strong energy. So we're moving forward here with deliberate energy, with a deliberate thought process, deliberate clarity of mind, which is really good because with our Nine of Pentacles over here, and a little bit closer look, we are at the we're about to achieve something, right? Our nines are always that last little step before the tens here, that last little bit as we're finishing before we hit that completion energy, like full completion energy. Nines can be seen as that ending anyway, and then coming into the 10, that's that full completion at the same time. So this is, Pentacles are talking about our finances usually a lot of the time, our earthly possessions. It is an earth energy. So there is a definitely call kind of into that element specifically, but this is, you can also think of Pentacles as like the energy we spend, our energy for ourselves and the energy we're moving around, because that is our life at the end of the day. That is our like livelihood. That is the energy we spend in order to be in the world. So with all this outright, we have an ending of a cycle here with Judgment that moves forward this other energy, right? We're moving forward with very deliberate action as we are finally finishing out something big in our lives potentially here. We're trying to get to this completion energy with our Nine of Pentacles over here. Sorry, just get it reorganized here, re-straightened out. So this energy actually for you Libras really ties in well together here, right? So it feels like with our Mask and Pluto, these and the Judgment card coming in, these are all very heavily tied in together, right? Our Judgment is the resurrection, the calling, the leveling up into this next world, into this next step, right? And that comes with the destructive energy of Pluto, that visit to the underworld, that visit to the inner depths of ourselves, right? We go into those deep shadows, that deep dark, in order to find what needs to be healed and what needs to be taken care of that's been hidden by this mask energy. And by taking off that mask, we can finally finish out this big cycle that we've been in and finally like finish that level up process with Judgment here. And that affects our Nine of Pentacles over here, right, as well. If you feel like something's kind of been stuck for a little bit here, Libra, if something has been stuck and just not moving and you're not quite sure why you haven't like finished it out, out, like that finally hitting that completion energy, which would be the 10 instead of the 9 here. That's kind of what this is, right? That's kind of like, hey, where you need to move forward with deliberate action, knowing your limits, knowing what's happening with you, knowing what mask you're wearing, knowing what's been going on with yourself, and taking off the masks you maybe need to in order to let this destructive Pluto energy kind of finally clear the slate for you, finally finish clearing out the slate with judgment here as well, so we can move up and level up into the next step here. Our Knight of Swords energy also just talks about very, like I was saying, very deliberate energy, right? But the Knight of Swords also knows their limits, knows what is going on with themselves, has a very clear mind, and that involves knowing everything that's kind of going on at the deeper levels, knowing what's going on emotionally with ourselves, knowing what's going on in the physical, with our bodies, with our health, with our finances, with our emotions, with our feelings, our relationships, all those other pieces taking place there. Knowing what's happening, right, with ourselves, with these bigger energies, this judgment, this mass, this Pluto energy, because these are what's holding back with this 9 of Pentacles energy from this 10 completion, right? It feels like, I don't know, it just feels like there's something here that we're like, why is it not finishing? Why is it not progressing in the way we are hoping? Like we put in all this work, we put in all this time here, and we're just waiting for that like last thing to finish out here, and we can't quite place what it is. So here with November of 2022, it's really calling you to look deeper, diving into this deeper Pluto energy, this deeper mask energy, to see what's being hidden from yourself here, right? Using our Knight of Swords energy to explore that, to get clarity, to explore knowing ourselves really, really well, so we can finish this level up process to reach this 10 and to finally have this slate cleared with this Judgment card over here, okay? So Libra, it's strong energy for November, obviously, but it's a little bit more for the other zodiac signs. It's very interesting how it varies zodiac sign to zodiac sign, specifically with our air here. Gemini was very different. I'm doing yours second here, and then we'll see what happens with Aquarius next. But your energy here is very strong, of course, so it can't not be with Pluto and the mask here. But there is a pause here as we are learning something, as we're figuring something out about ourselves. So I'll be interested to see what happens for you next month for December, as we kind of you finish working through this energy here. And once that slate's finally been cleared for you, I would expect very open and kind of more like full energy, like, hey, all these possibilities opening up for yourself, more ones, maybe that 10 kind of showing up finally, and more ones as we start into a new journey yourself, okay? So that's kind of what I'm feeling here for you, Libra. Very interesting spread. Lots of flowers too, just kind of pay attention to that. We got flowers here, flowers there, and flowers over here. All three of our tarot cards showing up with that energy. So very positive energy, even though there is something we're still kind of working through and finishing out here, okay? But that's all I have for you, Libra, for November of 2022. I will see you next month. Bye. Hello, Aquarius. So let us get started. Let's get your specific reading here for November of 2022. So we've got the mask and Pluto out on the table here. So we'll put them up out of the way here as we get our 3 cards from the Santa Muerte. So we'll get 3 cards out, so it'll be up to you whether or not you decide it's past, present, future, or specific situations, or just all together. But let's give us a peek here. Let's see what we got. Okay, Santa Muerte for Aquarius for November of 2022 with the mask and Pluto out on the table. Give me 3 cards, please. What does Aquarius need to know for November of 2022? 1. 2 more, please. Okay, yep. We'll see how that goes. Okay. Oh, nope. Too much. Okay, I need a reveal or just 1 card specifically, please. So 1 more card here for Aquarius for November of 2022. Okay. Okay, just 1 card, please. 1 card. The most important thing. Thank you. Okay. Let's see. We've got a reverse Ace of Swords. We have the 10 of Wands, sideways. We'll see how I want that later. And then we have the Eight of Cups. Okay. Let's move these down here. Okay, and then let's pull these back in. Look at that spread. Looks very nice. Okay. Okay, so we've got the Mask. We've got Pluto. We've got reverse Ace of Swords. We've got the Ten of Wands, to be determined, but sideways for now versus upright or in the reverse. We'll see how that goes. And then we have the Eight of Cups, Aquarius. Okay, let us get a little bit deeper look at how this plays out. Okay, Aquarius. So you're my air sign that has some confusion, right, for what's kind of going on with our Mask and Pluto energy here. You kind of know what's happening. You definitely are feeling this energy for sure. This is our Eight of Cups over here. Lots of emotions for it, but there's a lot of confusion for you for what's going on, why this might be going on, what you kind of need to do in order to progress and change up this situation, right? So that shows up a lot with our reverse Ace of Swords here, right? Ace of Swords, ace coming out is usually our new beginnings, our starts, our fresh start, our the one that's first energy. But with our swords here, right? Sword is that air sign. It is our air energy here is air zodiac signs. Makes sense. That yellowing color. Air is our mind, our clarity of thought. So with our ace being in the reverse here, we have a lack of clarity of thought. I'm stumbling over my words even kind of talking about it. So that's kind of that energy that we're feeling here. So we're not sure what to do next. There might be an idea here, but a confusion about how to move forward with it. We're not sure who we are at the moment, right? With this mask energy here. We don't know what mask we have on at the moment. We don't know which mask we want to put on. If we have a mask on, what we're kind of doing with ourselves. We have a lot of confusion here because Pluto's come in and destroyed it all anyway. Pluto's kind of cleared the slate here for us, but we don't know what's next or kind of what to do, right? That's showing up with our Ten of Wands energy here. There's that confusion for it coming out sideways. We don't know what we're feeling, if we're feeling kind of overwhelmed and overworked and burned out, or we're just kind of running away from our responsibilities, or is with the Wands, that's our creative energy, our fire, our passions, right? And that Wands 10 is usually that completion energy, that like final, we finished, we're done. But you can see it in a couple different ways where it's like, okay, usually the original Rider-Waite imagery, there's this figure holding 10 wands standing up, and there's a lot of effort and a strain that that person's kind of under for holding these many wands, right? But also, if it's like we're thinking about wands and our creativity and our energy, holding that many wands, we have so many ideas and things we can do with ourselves and so many ideas to pursue, but we don't have clarity for what we're kind of trying to pursue next, right? That's showing up with our Eight of Cups energy over here as well, where it's like, okay, hey, we don't know where we're moving next, right? That original Rider-Waite imagery as well as that figure on a boat moving, paddling away. He has some cups on the shore there, and there's some that he's holding on to. Everything's kind of destroyed, right? Let me double check here, but it's like, okay, hey, he doesn't know what's going on, he's going to next. Where is it at there? Yeah, no, all the cups are stacked up there on the shore, and that figure's leaving them all behind, right? If we're looking closer at the Santa Muerte version here, right, we see all those cups on the head of the skeleton, and some of them are pouring out, but there's a lot of darker kind of melancholy energy here, that sadness. All these cups are full, right? But with all of our cups being full, there is no space for new things to come in, right? I also had a quote from Avatar in my head, and the mom of Neytiri, I forget her name, but she's like kind of the shaman of the tribe, right? And she's talking to Jake. I don't know if anybody's seen this movie or knows exactly what scene, but she's talking to Jake, who's the quote unquote white man coming in for the native tribe and all that, yada yada. But she's saying that it's hard to fill a cup that is already full. He's trying to learn about the customs of the Na'vi and their way of life, and the woman, the shaman, she's telling him it's like, you can't fill a cup that's already full. You have to clear out these cups have open space, right? So that way you can fill it with new things, come into this new energy, this new person. This is that mask, taking off what mask we've been wearing and letting Pluto clear our slate, right? That's this energy coming in here. So if we can clear away all this emotion and things in our heads that have been taking up so much space for ourselves, then we can actually finally have more clarity here. Can let the universe finally give us that fresh start we've been craving, right? This Pluto energy, that's that destructive energy going into the underworld, this darkness here, right? This Pluto and Eight of Cups energy ties in very heavily in with the darkness here, and that shadow aspect of ourselves, that underworld aspect, those things that we don't look at too closely all the time. But with our sword energy, reverse Ace of Swords energy, it's asking us to take a closer look at everything, take a closer look at ourselves, what we have, what mask we've been wearing, what persona we've been putting out on ourselves, what version of ourselves we've been putting out, so we can actually take some time and figure out what we need to do next. There's a lot of confusion here, a lot of confusion energy, and that's why this Ten of Wands here is also kind of sideways. It doesn't know whether it wants to be in the upright or doesn't know if it wants to be in the reverse here, because there's so much confusion out on the table here as well for other energies, Aquarius. So Aquarius here, what I'm feeling is just needs to be we need to take some time and rest here, right? If we're thinking about our Ten of Wands here, we don't want to overexert ourselves. We don't want to burn ourselves out because we've just been going for so long, right? But we've lost the reason for why we're going in the first place, why we're moving forward, why we're doing what we're doing, why we are pursuing that career or that relationship, right? We've gotten lost in the mask specifically that this situation represents, this specific situation, this specific persona. We've gotten lost in that and I don't know who we are at the end of the day with it, right? If we fill our mind up with all this just like random things, these little tidbits, these tiny things and stuff, it's hard to figure out what we actually value, what we actually care about, what's actually the creative energy we want to pursue, our passions, our drive. And without that, if we can't do that part, we don't get that significant transformation energy that this Pluto energy also is. Pluto is strong transformation energy. If you think about that death and destruction process, it's also a rebirth process. It's also coming into new life and leveling up and changing who we are and becoming better versions and newer versions of ourselves, putting on different masks and different personas, but trying on different pieces of ourselves and seeing what fits and what we want to let go of and move forward in a more positive, constructive way for ourselves, right? So a lot of confusion here, Aquarius. It's even kind of hard to talk as I'm just like working through kind of what the process is here, right? So for you, for November of 2022, we're trying to figure some things out, right? So take the time you need to actually like clear out some stuff. Take as many things off your plate as you can. Get like that kind of to-do list done so you can just have some space to think and breathe finally, to have some space to just get some new air, new fresh ideas and energy. And you have all these creative ideas and pursuits and everything. We have 10 wands that we're holding here, but we can't do anything about any of them if we're holding them all at once, and if we don't have the space in our brains to even like figure out the next move forward or what we kind of want to do with ourselves, right? So we need to take some time and clear out our cups here, empty out our brain so that way we can find clarity of thought over here. Finally, we can finally get this Ace of Swords in the upright and have some actual straight clarity of thought and know what we want to do and move forward with, which version of ourselves we want to be now, what version of ourselves is going to be productive for the situation that we're in and what's going to be beneficial for us as we move forward. So I'll be curious to see how this energy progresses and changes for you into December of 2022 here. We're coming into a time of rest with winter as things are finally dying down now with fall and everything. So take the opportunity you can and journal. I think is probably going to be very beneficial, or talking out with a friend. You can talk to a camera kind of like I do sometimes to just really know what's going on in your own head, know what's going on in your mind as we move forward into this next step and let Pluto finally finish clearing out the slate for us. Okay. So Hopefully that makes sense, Aquarius. Hopefully that resonates. I'll see you next month for December and kind of see how this energy progresses. But take some time for yourself and just clear out your head, okay? You definitely need it. But I will see you in the next video, okay? Bye.